Greetings, friends. I'm AK.
And I'm Laura.
And we are
the Chainsaw Girls. On today's episode, oh boy, you guys, we are covering a good one. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can already see all of our little toys in the front here. We are covering 1985's Re-Animator.
I am so excited. I've been wanting to cover this since the beginning of the podcast.
No, same, me too. I freaking love Re-Animator. It's such a good mix of horror comedy and also like real horror.
Yeah, and it starts off pretty hot.
Oh, it starts out very hot. It tells you exactly what it is as soon as it starts.
Yeah, the practical effects are amazing.
The best. I think they used like 40 gallons of blood in this.
Love that.
It was released on October 18th, 1985. It had a budget of roughly $1 million, and it made about $2 million in the box office.
Okay. And it's, of course, a cult classic now. I know we use that term a lot, but this one truly is.
Oh, 100%. It is based off of H.P. Lovecraft's Herbert West Re-Animator. It was also written by Dennis Powley, William Norris. William Norris adapted the source material, and then Dennis Powley came in and sort of, he kind of added some like gothic elements to it and just, made it a little more well-rounded as a script, I guess.
I know you did a deep dive on H.P. Lovecraft, and I told her, don't tell me anything, even though, of course, we talked about it a little bit. But I was like, save it for the podcast because I cannot wait for you to tell me in real time about so much.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm gonna save a lot of it for the extended because there is. I just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. There is quite a bit, but H.P. Lovecraft, his stories have heavily influenced horror, sci-fi. A lot of movies that we're familiar with or you're familiar with are based off of Lovecraft.
Yeah.
One specifically that I was very excited about is The Thing, one of our favorites. Originally, it was adapted by Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, which was a novel that was actually inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountain of Madness. So again, it goes back to Lovecraft.
Yeah.
He had a very, very unique, interesting style of writing. I read one or two of his short stories, and his stories are just very immersive.
Yes.
I will say some of the writing to me is like self-indulgent. Like the style in which he writes is excessive.
Okay.
I also think it's just a style of writing.
Yeah.
He's very problematic, though. I'm not gonna even try to sugarcoat it. He's
Sure.
very, very problematic in a lot of ways, but very influential in the horror sci-fi genre.
Yeah, both those things are true.
Yes.
So this movie is coming to Tubi on August 21st, and I believe that's already going to pass by the time you're listening to this episode.
Yes, when I tried to watch it on Tubi, it was dubbed in Spanish, so I watched it on Amazon Prime, I think, for free with ads.
Yeah, it is on Prime. Yep. Do you want to read the IMDb?
I surely do. After an odd new medical student arrives on campus, a dedicated local and his girlfriend become involved in bizarre experiments centering around the animation of dead tissue.
Correct.
Yes, that is what happens. Just a quick note here. So the producer on this, Brian Usna, funded the film. I've watched so many interviews. I can't wait to tell you all about it. There's some in the extended I'm going to say for sure, and I'll link everything in the show notes. But Usna wanted to make a film, and he felt like he was kind of stuck in purgatory a little bit. Things weren't moving forward. I believe he might have been doing something with Empire, perhaps at the time. But in any event, he couldn't get something off the ground, and he went to Chicago to meet with Stuart Gordon, and Stuart Gordon was running this theater at the time, and he was like, yo, I got this idea, blah, blah, blah. I think I want to do this. They kind of got together. Their brains started moving together. Gordon wanted to do the Lovecraft story as a TV show that eventually got turned into this movie concept. But what I just loved about the whole thing is Usna used his own money, which he even says he probably wouldn't do now, and he was young and whatever. But he used his own money because he wanted to make this movie and he believed in it. And I just think it's such a cool story that it ended up being like such an amazing film. And for him to do that with his own money is bananas to me.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Of course, I don't love that he had to use his own money, but I love that he was so passionate about it. He's like, no, I'm going to make this look like what I want it to look like and what I think it should look like. And I mean, it shows.
Oh, it is awesome too. Like, I'll go into it more in the extended, but just like hearing Stuart Gordon, who, by the way, I just think is brilliant and what a director. Everything that I've read in every interview that I've seen talk about just what a fantastic human he was and how great he was to work with actors, things like
Mhm.
that. But I loved watching him and Brian talk about like developing the film. I guess like Brian was like, "You need to come over to my house and we got to watch these horror movies." And like every weekend, they would just stay up all night watching horror movies, studying them. Stuart Gordon watched a lot, watched Rosemary's Baby over and over and over again for like the editing and the directing and all of that. This was his first film, directing his first film. So I just love that they dove right into it and they adapted this wild story that H.P. Lovecraft actually didn't like and considered a hack job. He was not really a big fan of the short story. But for them to take that and develop it from what they thought was going to be a TV show to this like cult classic movie, I think is just it's movie magic and it's awesome. It's a passion project, which we
It's
always freaking talk about.
and it's so cool.
And it was distributed by Empire Records, Empire Productions. And if you want to know more about Empire, you can listen to our Puppet Master episodes because we kind of go a little bit further into that. But Charles Band, who was the head and the founder of Empire, was also involved in the project.
Yes, there are so many links in this movie to so many movies that we've covered already, which we're going to get into as we move along.
Oh, yes. It's just, I mean, I could go on and on, but I won't. I will just mention a couple of important people. John Newlin was special effects along with John Beckler. Both of them are very, very incredible FX artists, but the special effects are just bananas in this. And I feel like it's really important that you guys know who did them.
Yeah.
Because they're amazing.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And we will go on and on just throughout the episode.
Absolutely.
Should we jump into it?
I think we should just jump in.
Okay, like I mentioned before, these practical effects are the bomb.com and they start off hot. So strap in and strap on.
Absolutely.
All right, the movie's going to start off immediately. We're at a medical facility in Zurich, Switzerland. We see a professor being accompanied by two officers. This professor I immediately recognized. Okay, this is Ian Patrick Williams, who also plays the dad in Dolls.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that connection.
That's one of the very early movies we covered on this podcast and one of my absolute favorites. Go check it out if you haven't already. Dolls 1987. And is another movie, by the way, directed by Stuart Gordon and produced by Brian Usna a couple years later. Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna worked together on so many movies.
Absolutely, yes. And if you watch their interviews, you can really see the friendship, the chemistry. It was like watching two old friends like gush about movies that
Yeah.
they've made and like, oh, it was such a great interview. I'll make sure I put it in the show notes.
Yeah, there's actually another actor in this movie from Dolls specifically. It's Carolyn Purdy Gordon, Stuart Gordon's wife, who
Yeah.
played the evil stepmother in Dolls.
Yes, 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 yes. She's
But
great.
she's a scientist in Re-Animator.
Yes, she is.
So we're also about to meet another doctor credited as Swiss Woman Doctor, played by Bunny Summers, who was also in the Stuart Gordon Brian Usna film From Beyond.
I love all the connections.
I know. I have a few of them, so bear with me, but I feel like they're important because this cast clearly enjoyed working together, and I love that. From Beyond also featuring Carolyn Purdy Gordon and one of our main protagonists in this movie, Barbara Crampton.
We love Barbara Crampton.
We
She's the
stan.
best. She's the best. She's the best.
So anyway, or as Laura likes to say,
Any hoogly boos.
this Swiss professor and the officers, they're being called into a lab to check on a disturbance. They get to this room that Dr. Gruber is trapped in. They're banging on the door. We can hear him inside screaming. His name is Hans Gruber, and I thought that was interesting.
Dude, I was like, why is he named after the heel from Die Hard?
Okay. I was like, why do I know this name?
Yeah.
Funny enough, I didn't make the connection of Die Hard, but when I looked into it, I saw it's the same exact name from Die Hard. But I thought about Dr. Gruber from American Horror Story Asylum. His name isn't Hans, but he is Dr. Gruber.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not get that at all.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that we both thought of like different references.
Yeah. So then we hear glass break from the inside, and the cops bust this door open that are accompanying this professor or scientist. We see Dr. Herbert West on the floor holding a shrine. What the fuck did I write? A shrine? A syringe.
A syringe.
My notes autocorrected to shrine. He's holding a syringe, and Dr. Gruber is on the floor screaming. Dr. Herbert West is played by Jeffrey Combs.
He is Herbert West.
Yes.
He is like when he walks in and the like not this scene but later when we officially meet him.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with him.
He's done so much, especially in horror and in Star Trek, which I
He's
didn't
awesome.
realize.
He's so awesome.
He is 71 years old and he is still acting to this day.
Hell yes, he is.
I also didn't realize he was in 1999's version of House on Haunted Hill, which is so funny because I just rewatched that like a few months ago. He's a mad scientist in that movie.
Okay, why? I rewatched that maybe like 6 months ago and I just didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I forgot. I don't know. But I actually like the reboot. I like the original because I love Vincent Price, but I liked the reboot. I think it's fun. Yeah,
Same.
it's fun.
All that, same. So the cops grab Dr. West and Dr. Gruber stands up. His eyes are closed, but we see that his eyes in the sockets are like pulsing.
Do you want to know how they did that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll tell you all about it. Okay, a couple of things about this scene really, really quick. They actually reshot the opening scene because Brian Usna felt it was really important that the audience know exactly what they're in for with Re-Animator.
It was perfect.
Agreed 100%. So this effect I think is just so freaking cool. So John Beckler, who I mentioned earlier, sculpted the appliance, which is like the prosthetic, with its eyes shut, right? And then I didn't know this term, but bladders are like little balloons that expand and then obviously pop, and they usually are filled with like pus, blood, whatever you want to be coming out of it, right? So they had these two holes and then they pushed the bladders through the holes, expanding them, and there was tubes going into them and people blowing into them to blow up these little tiny balloons that eventually exploded, and then the blood would like splatter everywhere.
That's
and like
amazing.
come running down.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Because once you see the eyeballs start to come out, it looks crazy.
No, it's so wild. And they studied a lot of dissection manuals, researched anatomy. They really wanted to make sure that everything was as accurate or as close to accurate as they could.
Yeah. It looks so good. They did such a great job. And I think that was smart of Usna because not only does the audience know what they're in for, it starts off hot and it grabs your attention.
Yes. And exactly. It's quick. And it's like, it's shocking and yet it's still humorous.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what happens. His eyes are closed, they're pulsing, and then we see they look like they're open. They start to protrude out of his head and finally explode everywhere.
Awesome.
He falls to the floor. He's dead. He was screaming that whole time, obviously. It's just very chaotic. Herbert says, of course he's dead. The dosage was too large, but we have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
But he claims he did not kill him. He gave him life. And then we get the title card, Re-Animator.
Okay, can we talk about the title sequence really quickly?
Yes.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry for the F-bomb already so early on, but it is such a bomb-ass intro. And the music sounds very, very similar to Psycho.
Okay, I wrote something different.
Okay, so the composer on this film is Richard Band, which is Charles Band's brother.
Right.
I actually have the Puppet Master vinyl. And I love it so much.
I love that you're twirling your hair.
I'm like, guys, just so you know. But anywho, he got into some hot water for the score because it sounded so much like Psycho. When really it was just a homage. It was not supposed to be a ripoff.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a homage to it.
Okay. Yeah, that I can see where that could get tricky sometimes.
Yeah, he got into hot water for it. But when I was watching the interview with Stuart Gordon, he did mention multiple times that Richard Band had a huge influence on the film with his score because he felt that it was really important that the music lets the audience know that it's okay to laugh.
Yes.
It's okay. This is what's going on right now. And it really kind of dictates the feeling that you're supposed to get from each scene or, finding the humor in it.
Yeah.
And it is. I think the score is its own character in the movie.
Yeah, and it absolutely does that because what I wrote is that I'm like, this opening score, it's a little quirky. It sounds like it could be a little funny.
Yeah.
And I thought it sounds like it could be a song from something like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is really funny because Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna conceived and developed the original story for the 1989 Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, initially working with writer Ed Naha on a script that was first titled Teeny Weenies.
Yes, which we talked about in earlier episodes.
Yes, I thought that was so interesting. Like, wait, this sounds like, it reminds me of that. And then you see that there's a connection. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So Stuart Gordon's daughter actually says that he came up with the story by telling it to her and her sister as a bedtime story. And I think that's so sweet. And I'm going to link that interview in the show notes.
It's super sweet.
Stuart Gordon was set to direct Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but he was unable due to health issues. So I'll talk
Bummer.
about more of that at the end.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
So now we're in a hospital where we meet another one of our protagonists, Dan Kane, played
Oh,
by Bruce Abbott.
Dan.
I
I
love
love the
Dan.
character of Dan.
Me too.
I really do.
And I wrote, just for Laura, I'm writing down, he's 6 feet tall.
He's tall. He's a tall, caring boy.
So Dan is giving chest compressions to a patient, which are not working. And here's where we're going to see Carolyn Purdy Gordon, who plays Dr. Herod. She and Dan are working together. She tells Dan to move to the side so she can use the defibrillators, which I had to Google. What are the chest zappers called?
I didn't know either.
The patient is still flatlining at this point. This is a real patient, by the way, so I'm not laughing about that. But Dr. Herod wants to call it, and Dan's not giving up. He starts chest compressions again. She tells him his optimism is touching, but it's a waste of time, and a good doctor knows when to stop.
I really felt for Dan here, but I think like you really see his humanity.
Yes.
You really see how much he wants to save people. He wants to save lives. He wants to, you know, he really, I don't want to say wants to be the hero, but like it's really important to him that his patients survive even when, you know,
He actually cares.
he cares. I
Yeah.
think that's where I'm trying to go with that. Like he really, really cares. And you see his motivation throughout the film and why he even gets involved with Herbert West.
Yeah. I also understand where Dr. Herod's coming from, where when you have so many patients per day, you do need to know when it's time to move on and help the next person. I can see the value in that in a hospital setting, but you also see not only how much Dan cares, but this is going to be foreshadowing.
For sure, because it right away it shows when she says to him, like, you have to know, a good doctor knows when to stop. It's like, not only are there more patients, but what else are you going to do to this person that is not alive anymore? No matter how much you are working on them, they're dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is called Re-Animator.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So she directs him to take the body to the morgue because they're dead. On his way down to the morgue, he passes a security guard named Mace in the hallway. I love Mace.
I love Mace too. He's great.
He's played by Jerry Black, who also happens to be in another movie we covered, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. He is the landlord who gets killed in his car by Larry the Larva.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
What a connection.
I know. I was so excited when I saw that.
Dude, I get so excited when you tell me like tidbits like that because I'm like, what?
I love when we are telling each other things for the first time on the podcast.
The best.
So Mace is very chill. He has his desk set up in the hallway in the front of the morgue. He's chewing on probably the same cigar the entire movie. I love him. He tells Dan, I don't know why they locked the doors around here. Nobody wants to get in and nobody's getting out. I'm like, okay, Mace.
Boy.
Inside, 2 doctors are working on another body. One of them is Dr. Hill, played by David Gale.
Ew.
He was in The Brain, 1988. Did you say ew?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Hill is 100% an ew
Big ew.
throughout this movie. Big time. But The Brain, when I looked it up, I never saw it, I don't think, but I recognized the cover from the video stores. And now I really want to watch it.
Yeah, hell
It's
yeah.
so scary to me, especially child me. So Dan takes his patient into this room, I believe a refrigerated room, with a bunch of different bodies on tables or
It's
on
the morgue,
gurneys.
isn't it?
It's the morgue, yeah.
Okay.
But it's like a separate room inside the morgue.
Got you.
Which I imagine, I guess they're just storing the bodies there.
Yeah, because they kind of like work on them.
Yeah. So when he comes back out, he is sweating and he's like panting. He's watching Dr. Hill use this laser to create a hole in the body. His body's head that he's working on. And then he takes this long cotton swab and sticks it into the hole. And it's also just a gross practical effect.
It's a really great effect. It's so gnarly and it just, oof.
And I think Dan is sweating here. I don't know if he was sweating because it was just a whole to-do to get the body in that room, or if he was just kind of like worked up about not being able to save his patient.
He seems very uncomfortable around dead bodies in general. Like even when he brought the body into the morgue,
Yeah.
just the way he's moving and like the one, again, the humor in it, that one body, his arm is like falling off of the tray, not the tray,
The gurney?
the gurney, and like kind of hits him.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's selling it all like very uncomfortably.
Yeah.
And he's a new doctor,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Like he's still in medical school. So
That's
right now
right.
he's doing his residency, right?
Very
So,
true. Yeah.
Inexperience, I guess.
Yeah. So in this room, we're going to meet the dean. This is Alan Halsey, who's introducing Dan to a new student, Herbert West.
Oh, this is the greatest introduction of all time.
Herbert West just gives no fucks. He is like so socially awkward, but also just straight to the point, which I do appreciate.
Oh, I love his directness and how he immediately calls out Dr. Hill for. Well, Herbert West is just very passionate about what he believes in,
Oh
and
yeah.
he wants to reanimate the dead. Like he doesn't believe that when your brain dies, it's the end.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dr. Hill is explaining like once your brain dead, it's like whatever. And Herbert West is like so matter of factly like you're wrong.
Right.
You don't know what you're talking about. You've got outdated information, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're in this morgue and they're all introduced to each other. So
Mhm.
it's Dean Halsey introducing Dan to Herbert, and then also Dr. Hill comes over and they're all talking to each other. We're going to find out that the Dean is the father of Dan's girlfriend, Megan, who is played by Barbara Crampton.
Ugh.
So that's the connection here.
We love Megan.
We can tell that the Dean feels very strongly, thinks very highly of Dan.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for
He's
sure.
like, Dan is like the top student in this school.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Hill is the school's top brain researcher and also we find out donor. So it's almost like he's like I was going to say the money mark.
He is though.
He's the funder.
Yeah.
And like he's getting to do what he wants even though he does seem like he knows what he's doing. He's getting to do what he wants because he's giving the top donations.
Yeah. He's an asshole.
Yeah. He is.
he's a complete asshole.
He
He's
is.
smart.
Yeah.
He is, but he's a fucking gross, power hungry piece of shit.
Yeah, and Herbert also tells Dr. Hill he accuses him of plagiarizing Dr. Gruber, who we just saw die in the first scene,
Yes.
his work.
Yes.
So
And we find out like we're kind of starting to see the connection between Herbert West and Hans Gruber and why, because Herbert West is left Switzerland, right? And we're going to soon find out why, but he left Switzerland, or we kind of know why, but he left Switzerland and he's going to tell people it was because he learned everything he could in Switzerland.
yes. Yeah, that's why I totally didn't kill anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing here is Dr. Hill has stated in his research or whatever that the brain can only stay alive after death, I guess, for up to 12 minutes.
12 minutes, yeah.
And then Dr. Hill corrects him 6 to 12 minutes. So it's interesting because here I thought
it was
do
6
you-
minutes. I've always heard 6 minutes, but
do you write his name as Herbert or Dr. West throughout your notes? Because I think I changed it up and I don't know what to call him.
sometimes I call him Herbert. Sometimes I
Okay.
call him Herbert West.
Okay. So
I think everybody knows who he is at
Yeah,
this point. And if
okay.
you don't, I don't know what to tell you.
well, if you don't, we're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna tell you. So Dr. West here to me came off like an asshole too. Like I don't know. When you're watching this for the first time, it just seems like he's such a prick and you don't know that Dr. Hill is an asshole yet. So it just seems like this pompous guy walks in and is trying to tell this published, experienced doctor about his own research.
To me, it just felt like a dick measuring contest between the two of them.
Yes,
like
that.
I honestly just felt like they were both like,
I can see that.
yeah.
But with Dr. West at the end, you'll have to decide how you feel about him.
Yeah, I love
I
I
think-
love him. Personally, I think he's out of his fucking mind.
He
but
turns around for
I
me.
love him.
He turns around for me. I
crazy.
think we're all going to be on the same page about Dr. Hill though.
Oh, ew. He's gross the second you see him on camera.
It's so funny. I didn't think he was gross until the dinner scene, but we're going to get there.
Mm.
Okay, so now we're going to see that Dan is posting an ad on a bulletin in the hallway. He's looking for a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
His address is 666 Darkmoor.
Perfect.
We're finally going to meet Megan, Barbara Crampton. And just to touch on this, which I'm sure many of you already know, but Barbara Crampton is known for, in addition to this, From Beyond, Chopping Mall, Puppet Master, where she also plays a Megan, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And she really had a resurgence around the 2010s because a lot of those movies I just named were like 80s. She really had a resurgence around the 2010s and she is still acting as well.
Dude, she is so bomb. I love Barbara Crampton. I think she's just awesome. And her like how she comes off in interviews, like her energy just feels so like something you want to be around, something you want to
Yes.
create with.
I want to talk to her so bad.
too.
And we had an opportunity to meet her.
Yeah.
We just didn't get to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, and I was way too I was marking too much to
I know.
let myself say hi. I was like, don't mark out Laura. It's like when I was gonna meet Road Dogg and I was about to drop this hey, I just watched one of your matches from 1997. Blah, blah, blah. And I was just
I was not expecting you to just drop that name in this. That's so funny. But yes.
but you know what I'm talking about when you're gonna mark out, so you're like, brother, don't do it.
But we both were like, that's Barbara Crampton. That's Barbara Crampton.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we should have. And next time we're going to.
Can I also say really quick, based off the interviews and the documentaries I've watched about this film and just watching interviews with Barbara Crampton, she talks a lot about how her and the actor that plays Dan, Bruce Abbott, had fantastic chemistry. They had a really, really great time working together. And it just, I mean, it really sounds from everything that I've read and watched that the relationships that everybody had were really strong on set. And it was a really, really good dynamic.
That means everything to me, let alone, well, just because for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but especially because the end of this movie made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, they had great working relationships. And unlike most films, they rehearsed for a week before shooting. Gordon used a lot of techniques from his theater background, and because this was his first film, directorial debut, he obviously used, like I said, techniques from theater, and they did a full rehearsal leading up to filming. And the actors in the documentary were just talking about how that very rarely gets to happen, but it is so helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think rehearsing is everything. Like, I love being prepared. I'm like, prepare,
Oh,
prepare.
yeah.
But they had a great experience in pre-production and rehearsing everything. So,
I didn't realize that it's not a typical scenario. Maybe it's just in low budget movies where they don't get to rehearse all the time or don't get weeks of rehearsal.
well, a lot of movies don't. That's kind of
Yeah.
abnormal. That you don't usually get that. You kind of have to do your own work, and then you might do a couple of rehearsed takes before. But
Or table reads.
yeah, but doing a week before with full rehearsals, I think that's just
That would be fantastic. It's interesting because a lot of people also assume the same thing about pro wrestling.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you must rehearse.
No.
No.
not at all. No,
No.
off the cuff, baby. And then just one more quick thing. Stuart Gordon actually took all of the actors to a real morgue to give them a sense of what that world is actually like. And the actors, all of them, said that it was very, very insightful to actually go in and see dead bodies in
Yeah.
a morgue and just experience all of that. It really lended itself to their performances.
Yeah. The rehearsal really shows because in this scene, so Dan and Megan are going to start kissing. And she's playfully like, no, no, no. And just the way she laughs with him feels so real.
Because some of that is improvised. She even said, in an interview, that some of it was scripted, and then some of it they did, they just had great chemistry and they had a lot of fun together, and they were
Yeah.
able to kind of run with that.
Yeah. So this scene though, she's playfully yelling, no, no, no. And then it cuts right into her moaning in the same cadence, but now they're banging.
Mhm. Yeah.
She's not saying no though. So they're hooking up at his place, right?
Mhm.
And oh yeah, it has to be his place.
Yeah.
And then the cat jumps on Dan's back.
Oh, Rufus.
Rufus. I was like, somebody tossed that damn cat.
I know, right?
But at least they were done at this point.
Mhm.
You
I'm
know?
like, get out of here.
Get out of here, Rufus. You got to keep the pets outside or out the door, Anyway,
The cat's just sitting there. There's nothing
I couldn't.
worse than the dog sitting there just staring. It's like, get out.
I couldn't.
Get out. This is not a
No.
show.
I'm shutting the door. I don't care if you're barking outside the door. I'm shutting the fucking door.
Yeah. Out.
So Megan has to go home because basically her dad is stuck up. She calls him a Puritan. As I mentioned earlier, Dean Halsey. The dean knows that they're together, but he doesn't want her staying over his house, and he doesn't want her having sex probably.
Yes, 100%. He's being a protective father. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tells Dan the minute he gets his MD, she'll marry him, and I'm assuming that's because of her father, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
And also, well, I don't know.
Because she's also in school. It's not like
I was
she's
gonna
established.
say, but it makes sense, why you would want to wait till after school, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
But I got the vibe that it's like, I can't marry you until you are a doctor or my dad will never approve.
Okay, yeah.
They're very playful with each other here, the same as the last scene. And he's pretending to be a zombie underneath the sheet. She's laughing, but she's like, oh my gosh, Dan, stop. And it's just a genuine laugh. Why are you rolling your eyes?
I hate happy couples, so I'm just kidding. JK, not JK, kind of JK.
You know what? That's okay.
That's all right.
So she laughs her way to the door. And then when they open it, because she's leaving, Herbert is standing there. And he has the roommate bulletin in his hand.
I just love how he doesn't give a single hoot what someone is in the middle of doing. He doesn't care he just knows this is what I need, I want, and I'm just going to go figure it out. I'm going to go do it.
That's why I couldn't stand him. Because first of all, if you knock on my door, especially at night, I'm not answering that shit. But, well, he didn't knock really. They just opened it. But I would be so annoyed that he showed up instead of calling.
Yeah, of course. That is who he is. That is how he gets stuff done.
Yeah. And a part of me was like, why did you put your address on that bulletin? But I guess that you want to show people where it is so
Ye
they can decide if they want to live there,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
right? But yeah, it's late, but they let him in. They're being nice. And you can tell Megan is immediately creeped out by him.
Okay, one thing I love about Megan is she is smart.
Yeah.
Like, she is not just some character without any layers to her.
She's
Like,
not just dumb and helpless.
no, exactly. And she picks up the dangers of Herbert West immediately. She
Right.
immediately is like sus of him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Dan starts talking to her.
Herbert.
I was gonna say Hubert.
Herbert.
Dan starts talking to Herbert about Switzerland. Oh, you came from Switzerland. What's going on? And this is where he's very short and dismissive. And he's like walking around this apartment, looking around, asking questions like, do you have a basement?
Well, I thought Megan straight up asking, why did you leave Switzerland was
Yeah.
such a great question.
Yes.
Yeah, why did you leave? What were you up to?
And this is where he's just like, oh, I learned everything I could.
Yeah, and she's looking at him like,
Yeah. Herbert wants to take it. He sees the basement and he is pumped. He's like, I'll take it.
oh, immediately.
And Megan tries to give Dan the Iggy. She's looking at him, giving him the eyes. Like she even says to him, I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. And she's shaking her head no, trying to hint to this. I don't know if he's oblivious or I think Dan, he's a smart person. So I think when Herbert shows him the stack of money, he's just like, well, shit.
Yeah.
You know, I got to take it.
I
So-
also, Dan's an interesting character to me because he does go along with Herbert in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And I just like, I want to know so much more about Dan.
Yeah.
They wrote Dan for this. Dan isn't in the original Herbert West Re-Animator.
Okay.
And Stuart Gordon talks about him sort of being like us. Like he's the straight person in this situation. Like he's like he has the humanity. Like you're experiencing the movie sort of through his eyes. Because
Yeah.
he's not crazy, he's not hokey, like he is a regular sort of dude,
Yeah.
you know, that got swept up in this
Yeah.
bullshit.
He's playing it like straight, quote unquote, and Herbert is like the wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the audience, sort of. You know, he's our.
Yeah. I can see that.
There's humanity in Dan.
Yeah. So yeah, Herbert sticks a wad of cash in Dan's face. He already has the rent in advance, full month, whatever. So Dan's like, well, shit, I got to take it. So now we're going to cut to class with Dr. Hill. And Dan and Herbert are both in this class. So Dr. Hill showing how to make an incision at the base of the skull of a cadaver. And then Dr. Hill pulls the skin off this skull. It looks gnarly.
Dude, he like scalps him. It's awesome. He like pulls all of the skin back, exposing the. What is this called?
The skull?
The skull. But what is it called when you're like, when it's just like a bone?
I thought that was the skull. I thought that was the bone was the skull.
Leave it. Leave it in. Don't even cut it out. Just leave it in.
You know, we're not scientists. We're not doctors.
I'm extra blonde now, guys, okay? Just like.
But Dr. Hill says here, he tries to make a joke. He's like, it's just like peeling a large orange. And the class is like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Sure is. What?
Then he cuts the top of the skull off with a bone saw. And he's like, here you have it, the human brain. He reiterates the brain can only survive an additional 6 to 12 minutes after the brainstem activities cease. And then he repeats it again, 6 to 12, and looks right at Herbert.
Right at Herbert. Yeah. Herbert's so, okay. The way that he registers things on his face, like, you know exactly what he's thinking.
Oh, Herbert's pissed.
Yeah.
And he's not just going to take that. Like, I will say, Herbert has a fucking backbone.
But Jeffrey Combs, the way that he's able to sort of
Yes.
emote that, you can see him thinking
Yeah.
and like what he's feeling. It's just done so well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Dr. Hill says brain death brings an irreversible conclusion, and Herbert breaks a pencil
He's
at this
so
moment.
upset.
I was like, what are you doing? Dr. Hill continues on, and Herbert ends up breaking another pencil in the middle of him talking. I was like, this is a strategy. This was funny. Dr. Hill is like, Mr. West, I suggest you get yourself a pen.
Yeah, he's paying attention.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to each other. And
Yeah.
Herbert West is sending him violent messages with his pencil.
Right. So I thought it was interesting here. Dr. Hill gets so worked up that he dismisses class. I'm like, I would have kicked Herbert out if that were the case.
But it also shows that Hill is a deeply insecure,
yes,
fucking gross ass
he is.
teacher.
He's very insecure because guess what? He is a fucking plagiarizer.
Like big time. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that he would get flustered and because listen, like any narcissist, right? As soon as the curtain's pulled back, people know who you are, right? So for him, it's probably that like
He's being exposed and
yeah,
he's panicking, so he's running.
that's it.
Yep.
Exactly.
So the class is leaving, and Wes goes up to Dr. Hill and starts yelling about how he's wrong. He should have stolen more of Dr. Gruber's ideas because then he'd have some good ones, shit like that. And Dr. Hill says it's going to be a pleasure to fail him, and then leaves. So now we're going to cut to dinner at, I believe this was the dean's house, right?
It looked like it. Oh, this is such a gross dinner. I don't know what's happening
This
here.
is where I was like, oh, you are a fucking creep, Dr. Hill. Got it.
Yeah.
So we have the dean, we have Dr. Hill, and Megan are all eating at the table. The dean is thanking Dr. Hill for their largest donation yet, and he's going to revolutionize neurosurgery. So he is smart, but he's also kind of paying his way to doing what he wants in this school, which I guess is probably how it does work, right?
For sure, yeah.
So they do a little toast, and the way Dr. Hill is staring at Megan here before he even said anything creeped me out so bad.
Big time.
Ew.
Oh, the vibes
are rancid.
He was rancid to me the second he came on screen.
Yeah.
He just gives me the heebie-jeebs.
Yeah. You picked it up quicker than I did. I was like, oh, I think I was so distracted by Herbert and how direct he was that I was like, Herbert's a fucking dick.
I love a direct person.
I do, but like, I don't know. I do also appreciate tact.
100%. Yes,
You know?
yes.
Like, I know Herbert will be way too much for me, but also what he's going to do in a minute solidified that I hate him. You know what it is.
Herbert?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Okay.
All right, so when Dr. Hill learns that Megan is seeing Dan, his face drops, okay? And then he asks about Wes moving in because he did learn that they're roommates now. And he to me, he seems almost more annoyed about that. So he kind of breezes past being upset that Megan may be in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It looks more like he's annoyed about Wes.
Sure.
So the doorbell rings. It's Dan. And when Megan goes to answer, Dr. Hill asks the dean. My Midwestern really came out right there. I said asks the dean. You got to add some extra Y's in there. He asks the dean if he's okay with them seeing each other.
I'm sorry. I just thought about when once in a while, I've lived in Buffalo for so long that I'll get like just a hint of the Buffalo accent and it puts me into a spiral. I'm like, nope, I am Canadian. Nope, we're fixing this right fucking now. I'm from Toronto, bitch. I am not.
I think of the Midwestern one not being so much Michigan, more like Ohio and maybe even Wisconsin, where they will, no offense to y'all,
No,
but
of course
you'll
not.
sometimes add an extra Y in there.
Yeah.
Like accent instead of accent.
Oh.
You know?
I think the Buffalo accent it's a little nasally. Like it's a little like over there. Like it has this like.
You've mentioned this before and I don't hear it, but.
Oh, I'm going to point it out to you. I have to.
Point it out. Okay, so Dan and Megan are having a study date at Dan's place. And when Dr. Hill asked the dean if they're okay, he's okay with his daughter seeing him, I don't think he really answers because Dan and Megan then show up. So Dr. Hill suggests, no, why don't you study here? And Dan just no-sells this and he's like, I'm trying to hit too, so I'm leaving. No, he doesn't say that.
Yeah, but yeah.
But he is.
Yeah, right.
But he's like, don't worry, I'll have her back before whatever time. So Dr. Hill proposes a toast instead. He adds in a part at the end where he focuses on Megan and he calls her the obsession of all who have fallen to her spell. I was like, okay, my creep radar has been validated because what the fuck was that?
I just think it's crazy that he said that next to her father.
Right. I don't know.
I would, if some man said that about my daughter.
I think that.
There's so much blackmailing in this movie, though. There's so much like money being exchanged with some of these characters that like I kind of understand too because it's a theme that runs through it, right? Like Hill is donating fuck tons of money into this university. The dad is the dean of the university. We're gonna see later that the Hill tries to blackmail Herbert. But then Herbert is also blackmailing Dan at one point. So there's just sort of this like.
I think that it was also just so much more common during that time to be like, oh, your daughter, she's so beautiful. She's developing so well into a young woman.
At what fucking, when in time would that be acceptable?
In the 80s.
My mom would lose her shit if a man said that about me.
Oh, yeah, but that's your mom.
Well,
and your dad probably would too.
My dad was like fucking good. My dad would too.
But I can think of just that era and before that, just it being more acceptable.
And because Dr. Hill is this like, well-to-do, fucking high up neurosurgeon, brilliant man.
Right. It's not just some creepy man on the street.
No.
He's a scientist.
Yes, right.
Yeah, for
Ew,
sure. For sure.
Okay.
I wrote certified creep 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Gross.
back at Dan's place, like I said, he's trying to hit. I wasn't lying about that. But Megan is bothered by something. And she tells him a lot of little things are building up for her.
Mm-hmm.
West is always in his room. She's like, we never even see him eat. Something is off.
Mm-hmm.
Rufus is terrified of him. And then she realizes when she says that Rufus is usually all over them when they're alone, but they have not seen him in a while.
Yikes.
So she starts going around the house, pss, 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 like that type of shit, okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Hey, tell your cat I said pss, pss, pss. My cat looked right up at the screen like, damn, this bitch is spitting.
yeah, right?
They can't find Rufus, okay? You already know where this is going. She goes into West's room, who's not home at the time, and she sees this little mini fridge and it's cracked open. Rufus is inside, obviously dead.
Yeah.
So this is where I was like, okay, fuck Herbert. You killed the fucking cat, you little bastard.
Yeah.
Wes shows up. He's like, what are you doing in my room? She screams for Dan. And at first they're arguing, and I'm like, girl, if you don't tell Dan to look in the motherfucking fridge right now, but she does.
So
eventually.
Herbert killed the cat.
Yeah.
Like fully killed the cat.
He says he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like he never admits to killing the cat.
He did. You
Okay.
know he killed the cat.
I don't know. I'm asking you. I
Okay.
mean, is it up for interpretation, or did he
Yes.
kill the cat?
It's up for interpretation because I guess we never get full confirmation. So let me tell you what he says, okay?
Okay.
West says, look, I was going to tell you, he was dead when I found him.
Mm-hmm.
He claims that the cat got into the garbage, got his head stuck in a jar, and then when he came home, he was dead. He didn't want Dan to find the cat like that, so he tried to preserve him until he could tell Dan. And he's like, I wasn't gonna write a note that said like, hey, your cat's dead. I'll talk to you later.
This whole conversation though highlights the humor of this film because
Yes.
I wrote down so many quotes
Yeah,
from Herbert,
yeah,
but him saying that, it's hilarious.
it is.
And it's in line with his character. He's so to the point and
Right.
direct and unfiltered.
Yeah, Megan straight up accuses West of killing Rufus, and he's like, no, I didn't. I think the way he's telling this story looks like someone lying, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
and
he's lying, but also he's using the cat to reanimate as well.
He's gonna explain later that he basically, what I thought he was saying was that he wanted to prove to Dan that he could reanimate something, so he did it with the cat on purpose because he wanted to make sure that Dan would help him, and this was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that just happened upon him. I think that was his plan all along.
You think he killed the cat?
I think so.
Okay.
And I also think because in the 80s, they wouldn't have looked at that as, oh, that's going to make him the bad guy. He's going to come around in the end. But to me, I'm like, you still killed the fucking cat.
I mean,
But
he's a heel throughout the whole movie, though. Like
he is.
like
but not in the end. I think he does turn it around
yeah, because
a little bit.
I don't think what he's trying to, because what he's ultimately trying to do is prolong life, right? What he's trying to do is something that has never been done. He wants to reanimate corpses, which I think it comes from, I was going to say it comes from a good place, but I don't even think it's about life. I honestly think it's just an obsession.
It's about science.
Science.
He's
yeah.
obsessed with making a new discovery, but not for the same reasons that Hill is. He doesn't want to be famous. I don't think he wants to be rich.
And it's not the same reasons as Dan. Dan's doing it for the humanity of it all, and
Yeah.
Herbert's doing it for the science of it all.
And Hill wants to do it for the
fame,
notoriety.
the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So they all
Interesting.
have different reasons.
Yeah.
I think that Herbert is just a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really care about anyone or anything
Mm-hmm.
because I think he's just
He loves the discoveries and he loves the
Right.
science.
So I personally think he killed the cat, but you tell us what you
He
think.
probably did. You're probably right.
It is up for interpretation. We technically
Mhm.
don't get confirmation.
I do love Herbert though. I love him. I love him so much.
He comes around for me at the end, but then I remember this part and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So now Dan is going to find a jar of this neon green liquid, which you can see on the table if you are watching YouTube.
Yes, and in real life, that is glow stick liquid that they used in the film.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also very toxic, so they had to be very careful with it. But they used
Yeah.
a whole ton of glow stick tube, like juice liquid, whatever it is.
So neon. So Dan is like, what the hell is this? And Wes says it's none of his business. Just like Dan dating the dean's daughter is none of his business.
So this is where he's going to blackmail him.
Right. Which is why I'm already, this is what's adding up in my head of like, okay, you're doing this for malicious reasons, or like you've planned this way. You killed the cat.
Interesting. I also think that Herbert does think pretty quickly on his feet
Yeah.
and registers things really quickly.
He does. He's smart.
He's smart. Yeah, he's very, very smart.
So, like I mentioned earlier, the dean already knows, but Wes threatens to tell the higher ups and asks Dan if he's sure he wants to find out if they're going to care or not.
Mhm.
Nah, you're getting the fuck out of my apartment. But Dan lets him stay.
It's very, very dark of
Yeah.
him, but
Yeah.
it falls in line with his character for sure. I love the music, man. Like,
Yeah,
the music adds so much to all of these scenes.
for sure.
'Cause, like, a man killing a cat is really sad and depressing and terrible, but it's done in such a humorous way
Yeah.
that I don't know, I just don't feel bad about it.
They also don't show it on camera,
Yeah.
but we're going to see some crazy shit about to happen.
Mhm.
So later that night, Dan awakens to the sound of a cat screeching. He goes around with a bat and eventually finds Wes in the basement
Mhm.
with some creature on his back. And this is so comical. Like,
Mhm.
Wes is trying to reach for it. He's spinning around, telling Dan to get it off of him. We already know this is Rufus, but
Yeah.
like at the time, Dan doesn't realize this. He just sees something on Wes,
Mhm.
and it's like a black furry blob.
Mhm. They do it great, the way that they shot this, the
The
effect of
way
it.
the way I would have just walked back upstairs and barricaded him down there, like, you're on your own.
Yeah, right? I'd be like, "Okay,
You're on your own, you fucking weirdo.
this is not my problem."
Yeah. But the creature does eventually get off West's back, and now it's hiding around the basement. So they're both trying to find it. They have weapons. Eventually, Dan catches it, throws it against the wall, and then realizes as it's on the ground, it's his cat Rufus.
Mhm.
What the hell?
Yep.
West even tries to prank him here. Like, Dan is like, what the fuck? And then West looks behind him and goes, look out. And then when Dan turns around, he starts laughing. West starts laughing like a true psycho. Now we see that Rufus is splattered on the table. He's like split open.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a stuffed animal here, so it's not too graphic, I think, or upsetting.
Yeah, it looks like a taxidermied cat to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And West is explaining the reanimation discovery to Dan. So he tells him he broke the 6 to 12 brain death barrier, and he wants Dan to join him. So together they can defeat death.
Mhm.
Dan asks as if he has done this on people before, and West totally just ignores him
Mhm.
and changes the subject and just starts talking about how he needs a new and bigger lab space. Dan does not believe him.
Mhm.
He thinks West drugged Rufus, so he appeared dead, which also I was like, did he? No, I think he killed him. But he thinks he drugged Rufus, so he appeared dead, and he's doing this like to trick him, which is also logical.
I think so, yeah, because you wouldn't automatically jump to, "Oh, he must have reanimated him."
Right. West picks up, I do think this is funny too. He picks up this splattered body of Rufus and says, do you agree he's dead now?
All of his dialogue here is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Then he injects Rufus with that, what did you call it? The neon green liquid. Is
Serum.
it the serum?
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm, mhm.
So West did this to Rufus on purpose to get Dan to help him, like I mentioned. That's kind of what he even tells Dan here. And almost immediately as he injects Rufus, Rufus reanimates.
He does, but he does, like, slowly,
Mm-hmm.
and Herbert, because Dan is kind of still not because he's not the cat's not really doing much, it's just kind of moving,
Yeah.
and Herbert's like, "Well, don't expect it to tango, it has a broken back."
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, because Dan mentions like, "Oh, it looks really painful," or whatever, and I don't know exactly how he says it, but he, the cat looks like it's in pain,
Yeah.
and Herbert is like, "Yeah, birth is always painful."
Yeah. That was my
Damn.
first thought is when he was going to get that syringe, I was like, this is so cruel. You're reanimating him and he's like ripped in half.
Mm-hmm.
So Megan walks in at this point and she starts screaming. So Dan ends up taking her out of the room. And so she sees what happens. And now they have some explaining to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to cut to Dan in the dean's office telling him that Wes has found a way to reanimate dead animal tissue. And the dean is immediately pissed.
Oh, dude.
He doesn't even say, like, well, explain yourself. He's just like, what?
Yeah.
And that's putting it lightly, okay? He wants a letter of apology written by Dan. He says that if any of their equipment from the hospital or the school was used, criminal charges may be brought. Did he say his loan will be rescinded or that it could be?
It will be if they use any of the other.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was like, damn, so he is going to get kicked out because he said he wouldn't be able to finish school.
Yeah.
But that West is kicked out of the school.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even giving him a chance to explain himself.
And it makes sense too because of Hill also involved in all of this,
True.
right? Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm. But the realization that Dan is going to lose his funding, he might not be able to go to school. It's so real and relatable.
Yeah.
And it really brings everything back to earth for him, I feel like, in that moment.
Yeah. But then we're going to cut to Dan wheeling a body into the morgue.
Just doesn't learn, man.
this is why I was like, okay, did he rescind his loan? And now he's like, well, fuck it. I can't go to school anyway or not. But I don't think so. I think it was just a threat because we're also going to find out that basically the dean wanted to suspend him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a temporary thing, right? But we're going to cut to Dan wheeling a body into the morgue. Mace opens the door for him and he almost goes to pull back the sheet, Mace. And he's making a joke about, like, oh, is my lunch under here?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't. We see that West is under the sheet.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
given.
dude, okay, again, I like Dan. I like the Dan character.
Yeah.
And I guess, no, I don't know.
I mean, I think just at this point, he believes him.
He believes him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He believes in it.
Yeah.
It's so deranged, but he
Mhm.
believes in it.
Yeah, he saw
Yeah.
it with his own eyes.
Yeah.
So in the morgue, they start looking for the perfect specimen.
Oh my God. This scene cracked me up. It reminded me of Tammy and the T-Rex when they're trying to find her a boyfriend, like
Yes,
a body.
it is.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
So they want someone that doesn't have too much damage done to them. So they're finding like someone who died from maybe like a gunshot wound or a car accident, things like that. But then they finally find someone who died of heart failure. And he's only been dead for hours because Herbert also thinks that that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, like if the body's been dead too long, they need more serum to bring him back.
Yeah,
And if it's a fresher body, he doesn't need to use as much serum.
right. So they're in the dark with a flashlight, by the way, and they're like whispering. So even though Mace let them in, they're still trying to be quiet about it.
Mm-hmm.
West has Dan start the tape recorder so they can basically they can record their findings and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Dan is out of breath. He's very, very nervous. They inject 15 cc's of the serum into the back of this cadaver's head. And then we see that the dean is showing up, not in the morgue yet, but at the front desk with Megan, and he's looking for Dan. He wants to ask Dr. Herod if Dan is there. She tells him he's in the morgue, and the dean is pissed. So this is where he says, oh, I told this other doctor that Dan's to be suspended, but I guess that doctor was in surgery, so the message didn't get relayed. So now we're going to cut back to Dan and West. The experiment's not working, and Dan is like, we need to leave. West thinks they need to up the dosage for a human.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I feel like West kind of implied he had tried this on humans. I guess he did with
did.
Dr. Gruber, right?
Yes, yeah.
But he's like, this is bigger than a cat, so let's give him more. So he does that. Nothing's happening.
Oh boy.
The dean, meanwhile, is deciding to go to the morgue to check for Dan himself. He tells Dr. Herod to watch Megan, who followed him there to try to get him to stop going through with it, I guess. She's like, don't blame Dan. It's not Dan's fault. It's Dr. West's fault.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Dan hears his name being called over the loudspeaker. So he's like, we got to go. They're about to wrap it up, and this body jumps off the table. So this body is credited as Melvin the Reanimated, and he's played by Peter Kent, who is well known for being the longtime stunt double for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Whoa, that's
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool.
He's also in the movie Tactical Force with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Whoa, okay.
Laura, he's 6'5".
Oh. Wow.
Just so you know. But he is screaming. He's
my kind of guy.
He's screaming. He's flailing. He doesn't know how to use his body. Like, he's very zombie-like, right?
Mm-hmm.
He also has immense strength. So, of course, as a cadaver, he is butt-ass booty naked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not to be a pervert, but like, I did notice, I was like, this man has some glutes on him.
Oh, he's in great shape.
Like, he's working out,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's tossing Dan and West around, like literally around the room, like yeeting them. He has these pulsing veins all over his head and his neck.
He's very violent. He's violent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's probably in a lot of pain too.
Yeah.
Dean is now outside the door banging on it. Melvin kicks it down. It lands on top of the Dean.
Okay, dude. Listen, I have to say this really quickly.
Yeah.
When the big ass metal, this is a heavy ass this is a morgue door, okay? So it's a freezer door. Like, it's basically essentially it's like a freezer door.
Yeah.
When it lands on the Dean, this big old fucking 6'5" corpse steps on it, crushing him underneath. And then when the door comes back off of him, the way he's splattered like that with his leg all sideways,
Yeah.
I just felt so sad throughout this entire scene. Even though it's like wacky and silly, watching the Dean just get like brutalized was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because the Dean's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Dean. He's, he's a bit of a pain in the ass, but he's not a bad guy. Is he?
Right.
Would you classify him as a bad guy?
No.
I don't think he should be accepting money from and donations and all of that shit and whatever. But the way he goes out is so awful.
It's awful. And the way Melvin jumps on this fucking door, like, he like double stomps it.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. That it reminded me of a double stomp in wrestling. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Or it reminded me of like Thanksgiving or Black Friday when people get like trampled. That's
Yeah.
what it like brought me to,
For sure.
Scary shit, man.
So now the Dean, he's crushed, but he's still alive. He's not like flattened like in Roger Rabbit.
No, no, no. He's just crushed though. Like his bones are definitely fucking broken for sure.
He's bleeding out of all of his orifices. Melvin starts choking him. He ends up like choking him up against the wall. The Dean tries to put his hand in the corpse's face.
But he's like crushing him with his big old hands, man.
He ends up biting off the Dean's fingers.
Oh, it's so violent.
West finally comes up behind Melvin with a bone saw, starts shoving it through Melvin's back and out the front of his chest.
It's wild.
I didn't expect that. I thought he was gonna like drill the back of his neck, like sever his spinal cord.
Yeah.
But it was so gross.
It was really, really gross. Yeah.
So West thinks Melvin listened to him for one point because he yelled stop at one point and the corpse kind of like paused and turned around and looked at him. But Dan says, no, he heard you like an animal would. He wasn't listening to you.
Yeah. So one thing I was going to say about this like whole scene, I really feel like West desperately needs like a sidekick. Like West needs a Dan.
Yeah.
Because he's so blinded by his own, I guess what he feels is his purpose, that without Dan bringing him back to Earth, he is just a straight up mad scientist.
For sure.
Like he definitely needs Dan to be like, no, dude, it's because he's acting like an animal. He doesn't actually know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like he needs the voice of reason.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also funny because the fact that Dan is going along with this is also kind of crazy.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Wes now thinks maybe the body just wasn't fresh enough. And Wes is like, okay, whatever, Dan. Give me a hand with this body. Talking about the Dean.
Mm-hmm.
While they're talking, Dan didn't even realize that the Dean is dead.
Dude.
He's like, wait a minute. He's dead? And Wes is like, of course he's dead. Now, come on, let's go.
Yeah, because again, West doesn't, he's apathetic.
He doesn't have
people.
emotion.
Yeah, he's apathetic to people. If you're not going to help him with his stuff, you're of no use to him. It's just a body. This is just collateral damage to him.
He's apathetic to cats too.
Everyone is collateral damage to West. Everyone.
For sure.
And Dan, straight up.
Yeah.
Like what happens to Megan and her father is Dan's fault.
Right.
Straight up. I would never talk to him ever again. When she realizes what's going on, I would never talk to him again.
Yeah.
Like ever.
And there's a point where it does seem that it's going that way.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, imagine walking in and no.
But Wes is like, look, this is the freshest body we're ever going to have without killing someone ourselves. Valid.
Mm-hmm.
That is valid.
Mm-hmm.
He's so nonchalant about everything. Dan is in shock, obviously.
Complete shock.
Yeah. Like
he can barely move. And even Wes says that. He's like, oh, you're just in shock, buddy.
No worries.
It's all right.
Yeah. Because Dan is a normal person for the most part.
It's so humorous though. Like I feel like what we're describing sounds so horrifying, but they do it in a way that's funny. Like the music, like the score of it, it's so like uplifting and silly that you're just like, I can't even be upset for very long.
Right. So Wes says we can bring him back to life. And I think that's where Dan goes, oh shit, okay, I got to try to do that because I don't want him to be dead. Right.
Right. And you can really see Dan grappling with the guilt of what's going on. And you can see him like struggling because I don't know. I just think the movie holds the humor and the horror so beautifully here. And I feel like you really can see how troubled Dan is in this moment. And he's definitely not thinking clearly because he's agreeing to work with Wes, which is an absolutely horrible idea. And it's just interesting how Dan kind of caves at every corner here with him.
I think he has good intentions.
He does. Yeah.
But, intent doesn't always equal impact.
No, what is the expression? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Ain't that the fucking truth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now back with Megan, Dr. Harrod gets called into another room. So Megan takes his opportunity to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So she starts walking toward the morgue. So meanwhile, Wes is injecting the Dean with less fluid because he's so fresh. He thinks he doesn't need as much of a dose.
Right.
Dan is still in shock. He's like on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
At 17 seconds, the Dean reanimates. It's much more dramatic than that. They're like waiting, counting, is it going to work? Is it not? He has blood pouring out of his mouth. He looks like he's in shock, which I imagine being reanimated would feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for him.
I felt bad for him the whole time. And even watching an interview with him and him talking about when he sees his daughter, I think it's later, but there's a scene where it registers on his face that that's Megan's his daughter.
Yes.
And he was just saying that it was really easy for him to play that because he literally did just think he was looking at his daughter
Oh,
and just what that would feel like.
yeah.
You know, like there's something in your mind that doesn't let you forget the deep, deep love and connection that you have with a person.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
yeah, right?
It's crazy when movies like this will cut so deep. You're like, I'm not expecting that.
But that's why it's so good and it's
Yes.
still hilarious.
Yeah, and
It's
so
still
hilarious.
light and fun and silly, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
So Megan gets to the door of the morgue and calls for Dan, and she can hear them in there. So she's like, oh my gosh, Dan, you're in there.
Yeah.
The dean, meanwhile, grabs Dan by the throat and Wes too, and he sits up like Undertaker style on this gurney. Megan comes into the room and sees this. She has no idea what happened, so she doesn't know her dad is a zombie.
Right.
She starts screaming for her dad to stop. Mace wasn't at his desk when Megan walked in, but he runs in now, gun already drawn, cigar still in his mouth. Like, I know that shit is soggy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wes has the dean in a corner now, under a blanket. And Wes is trying to explain to Mace that don't worry, but he says the dean just snapped. He's the one who did that to the cadaver on the ground over here. He points to Melvin, who has his fucking bones out through his body.
The teen snapped.
Yeah, he just snapped, and now Mace is like, all right, I'm gonna go call the police. Which I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Because the dean isn't reacting. He's just like cowering in the corner with a blanket over him. I'm like, is that like a bird? Like you put a blanket over them and they just stop yapping? I don't know.
Yeah, right?
So Dan is on the ground in shock still. Megan is crying over her dad, losing it in the fucking corner. It's just very tragic.
It's very sad. Yes, yeah.
Now we're going to cut to Dean Halsey in a straitjacket in a room with a one-way mirror in Dr. Hill's office.
Why does he have a one-way mirror in his office?
I was wondering that, but I guess, yeah.
Is it to observe medical students when they're doing stuff?
It is, but is he actually observing like real patients in his office? I don't know how that works. I have never become a neurosurgeon, just in case you didn't know.
You've never gone to medical school. Got it. Okay.
Someone can let me know.
Let us know.
But either way, that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And Megan is in that office with him. Dr. Hill wants Megan to sign a release so he can perform an exploratory surgery on the dean.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to show her what he's going to do to this dummy head on a desk. And she's like, I don't want to know. Okay, just help him. I don't want you to show me how you're going to cut his head open, you know? He says he wants her to think of him as someone who she can come to with her problems. And then he says, or if you're ever lonely. And I wrote, yuck.
I wrote ew and like capital letters. Dr. Hill is such a gross ass predator. He's so fucking gross.
And also because he's tall, it gives an extra creepy element because he's like towering over her while he's saying this.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like he has power and he's using it. It's when we get to the scene later, the way that he is selling things,
Yeah.
it's just not only does he love power, but he likes seeing people uncomfortable. He likes seeing people honestly distressed.
Powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's against the glass when this is happening, like where that one-way mirror is. And then right as the dean, or not the dean, Dr. Hill is saying this, the dean slams his head against it. And it's like a little jump scare. It actually got me.
It got me too.
I wasn't
yeah.
expecting it.
Yeah, it's sad, man.
Yeah. And then some orderlies go in and they try to grab the dean while Dr. Hill's in there. One is on the ground. He's like, it's like he's about to shoot in like amateur wrestling style. It's so funny. But now we're going to cut to Dan and Megan back home. Dan has a huge bruise on the side of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Megan is immediately like, what did you do to her dad?
Yep.
He's not answering. Megan ends up slapping the shit out of him.
I would be punching the fuck out of him. I wouldn't just be slapping him. I would punch him right in the mouth.
She slaps him twice. It was very satisfying. Even though I want other people to get slapped, it was just, I'm like, yes, what? Of course you would slap him at this point. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, dude.
What did you
That's
do?
her dad, man.
Yeah.
You're dead to me, bro. I don't care how much of a good heart you have. You're gone.
Yeah. And he eventually tells her that he's dead, that the dean is dead.
Yeah.
And of course, Megan doesn't believe him. She tells him he's insane, but she just sobs and it's so heartbreaking.
Oh, it's so sad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now back in the basement, we see Wes doing his weirdo shit, okay? And Dr. Hill shows up, which I don't know how he got in, but it's the 80s, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Hill basically tells Wes that he knows that the dean is dead. And he wants to steal Wes' discovery because he is a fucking plagiarizer.
Okay, can I also say I loved West's response to this because as Dr. Hill is going on and basically just fully admitting, like, yo, I'm taking all your secrets and you're just going to have to deal with it. Because if not, I'm going to fucking rat you out and tell the authorities that you killed the dean. And, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just straight up blackmails him. And I love that it's registering on Herbert in real time. Oh, I have to kill him.
Yep.
Like, you can see it in his eyes as he's looking at him. He's sort of like, he's thinking. And then you see this like realization and he's just like, I have to kill him.
He's like, and you're done.
But I loved it. It's the subtlety of his expression.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're going to take my shit? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to kill you because I have to now.
Right.
I have to kill you. And without it being a question to him, it's just like, I have to kill him now.
Yeah. Yep. And as crazy as Dr. West is, he was right about Dr. Hill all along.
Yep.
And Hill wants West to show him how it's done. So he starts showing him some shit under a microscope. Okay. He puts a serum on there. He's going to put some serum on some dead tissue is what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. And Hill's looking at that and he's so fascinated. Meanwhile, Wes is backing up. He's grabbing a shovel.
Dude, I love a shovel kill, man.
Have
you ever seen Psycho 2?
Yeah.
Oh, love a shovel kill.
Yes. I just keep thinking of Lil Nicky.
Oh, yeah. I saw that in the theater one time when I was like, probably like 13 or 14. And I was just like, I think I drank half a bottle of Sambuca. I don't remember one thing about that movie, but I was very intoxicated and I could barely walk.
But you do remember that he gets hit in the face with a shovel, right?
100% I remember.
That was like on all the commercials too when he says it.
Yeah.
What is Sambuca?
Sambuca is a terrible, terrible type of alcohol.
Is it vodka?
No, it's its own. It tastes like black licorice.
Is it really cheap?
I don't remember. My friend, one of my best friends who I'm still best friends with, Luke, we stole it from his like parents, like, cabinet.
Okay.
And me, my girlfriend, my boyfriend at the time, and him just crushed this bottle and like.
And then we're like, you know what we should do? We should go see Lil Nicky.
Oh man, I look like Weekend at Bernie's, like full on.
I was wondering if it was like Popov. You know Popov vodka?
No.
I think that's what we were drinking here in the States, or at least in like the Midwest. Where that's like the bottom shelf.
The
most like the little plastic bottle. It was probably like $5 back in the day for a big ass bottle.
Whoa.
Cheap, horrible.
Oh
yeah,
that's like Mike's Hard to me. That's what I was drinking. Mike's and Smirnoff.
No, that's sweet. So that's good.
Yeah, those are the two I was drinking a lot.
Smirnoff Black Ice.
That's what I was drinking.
Get out of here.
Oh my god. I mean, I would never now. I mean, it's almost been 4.5 years since I drank, but at the time, whew, me and Smirnoff Ice, baby.
But me and Green Apple do not mix.
Oh.
If I drink Green Apple, I won't to this day. If I drink Green Apple anything, I will throw up. And I think it's like a trauma from childhood. Well, from teenage years.
Makes sense because I'm the same with blue and red Gatorade. I could never.
Because you were using it for hangovers?
Because I was mixing it with vodka and drinking it on the subway like a degenerate and throwing up profusely afterwards.
To be young again.
Oh boy.
Anyway. Mm-hmm. So Wes is like, all right, I'm going to go grab the shovel while you're looking under the microscope. And Dr. Hill goes, I will be famous. And right then, Wes hits him in the back of the head with the shovel, but he doesn't stop there. This was fucking brutal.
Oh, this is personal, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you, you fucking piece of shit. Oh my gosh. And you knew he was a piece of shit all along. And now you're finally like, fuck you.
Yes,
you know?
It's so validating.
He gets Dr. Hill on the ground. He uses the shovel to sever his fucking head.
It's awesome. That's so great.
So if you can see, I don't really know if you can even see this on the table on YouTube, but she has a little tiny figure of Dr. Hill's head.
It's so cute. And Herbert's got his little syringe of the serum.
I mean, the figurehead is cute. This one, not so much. So we're not done with Hill quite yet. Wes is going to put his head in this giant pan and he uses a paper spike, like a receipt spike, to keep it upright because he keeps falling over, which is also so funny.
So do you want to hear how they did this gag?
Yes.
Okay, so they cut a hole in a table and they stuck David Gale, who plays Dr. Carl Hill's head, through the table. Then they put an appliance on him on his neck to show that it was severed, covered that in blood so that they could kind of like hide and like hide it a little bit. And they kept him in that position with his head sticking out of the table for like hours on end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's gonna be like that for the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm. But that's how they did the gag, was by fitting him through a table. And I think that's I love practical effects, man. I am so here for it.
Same. You already know.
Like,
you already know.
Let's take the CG blood shit and just throw it back to the 2010s. It can stay there.
Oh, the 2010s.
We don't need it anymore.
The 2010s, baby.
We just watched something last night and they used CG blood and It just kills it for
I
me.
know. There are times that CG looks so good.
No, 100%. But there are
Yeah.
times where no. I just don't think CG blood is ever really needed.
Just the blood
The
itself.
blood. It's just the blood. It's when you use it for blood, I think
Yeah.
it just kind of kills the vibe for me.
Just get messy.
Just get messy. Yeah, get messy. I don't know. I'm just not here for the CGI effects.
I know.
I love the practical shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So West kind of stares into the void here with Dr. Hill's head in a pan, but we already know what he's going to do.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
He injects both the head and the body separately with the serum.
Yeah.
And after some time, the head opens its eyes and Dr. Hill can talk.
Okay. So what I thought was so interesting about the Dr. Hill reanimated corpse is he pretty much keeps his personality. If anything, it's the worst side of his personality, the worst side of him, but it stays intact. Where the
Yeah.
other zombies, I'm just going to call them zombies, reanimated corpses, whatever. I actually refer to myself as a reanimated corpse because I died at TNA. I work for TNA in case you guys don't know that I'm a wrestler also. But when I died 7 years ago and I came back to life a few months ago, I always refer to myself as a reanimated corpse.
Yeah, you are.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I say. I'm reanimated.
So I think here that Wes is just kind of figuring out what the right dosage is, was my thought, or at least my way to explain it.
Okay, interesting. Because I just thought it was interesting that Dr. Hill is this very, very smart doctor. And I thought
Yeah.
maybe that's why he retained
Oh.
some of his
Maybe.
agency over himself.
Yeah, because he's way less zombified. He's
Huge.
not at all.
He's not at all. No.
His body looks like it, but his body's just clumsy because he can't see.
Because he can't see. And also, like, again, it's like the worst. I mean, he's already a horrible, horrible human, but it's like he becomes even more horrifying, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Personality-wise.
Yeah.
You know?
So Hill just says, West.
So
You know, it's
gross.
very drawn out.
Yeah.
He slowly says, you bastard. And then we see, as he's saying that, the body is also reanimating behind West and knocks him out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to cut to Megan and Dan breaking into Dr. Hill's office. Dan finds a file on Megan, which includes like random napkins and
Oh, her
locks of her hair.
Her hair, dude.
Dr. Hill has locks of her hair in a filing cabinet.
Okay, seriously, this is why I cannot date. This is why.
She's not dating him.
No, but I'm just saying in general, you just never know. People are fucking crazy. I know this is a movie, but honestly, like I wouldn't put it past somebody to be weird like that.
Yeah, you never know.
You just don't,
But
man.
your intuition about Dr. Hill was right away.
It's very true. Creep.
So at this time, Megan is using this opportunity to go into that padded room and talk to her father. The dean is crouched in a corner, but he eventually turns around and he looks so scared. And Dan realizes he has been lobotomized.
Okay. When I piece together here, like when we find that out,
Yeah.
I was like, every time I watch this movie, I get like a flush of just like sadness.
Yeah.
Because the dean just got
The shit end of the stick.
and Megan did. Like
Yeah,
it's just like all of it is just like so sad.
for sure.
But they do it so well because it's just also so uplifting at the same time.
Yeah, it's
somehow.
it's making you feel a roller coaster of emotions, certainly.
Yeah.
So when Wes wakes up, Dr. Hill, head and body, and all of Wes' work and serum are gone, except for a secret stash that he has upstairs. And at the same time, Dan is coming home. Wes is telling him that he had to kill Dr. Hill. Dan is obviously like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, stop killing people. He's shaking Wes until Wes tells Dan that Dr. Hill was not only trying to blackmail him, but he also wanted to make Dan disappear. So then Dan is telling Wes what Dr. Hill did to the dean, that he's lobotomized, and West is realizing that he did that so that the dean wouldn't be able to talk or tell anyone anything, which I don't know that he was able to talk, but we're seeing that Dr. Hill can, so
Yeah.
maybe. Because that's what happened when Dr. Hill went into the room with the orderlies. He was taking the dean away so he could lobotomize
So
him.
he could lobotomize him,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
First of all, lobotomize? Lobotomies, they've been outlawed since like what, the 50s, 60s? 70s?
You think Dr. Hill gives a shit?
I'm just wondering why he went with lobotomy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find that I don't know the order of which he would have been learning this. I think he just wanted to experiment because earlier we saw when Dan brought that body into the morgue and Dr. Hill was working out a body,
He was lobotomizing him.
he was using the laser to lobotomize him.
Got it.
So I think he just wanted to experiment, and then he is going to make a discovery on what the lobotomies do to these reanimated bodies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to see Dr. Hill's body bringing his head his head in the pan, into his office, because they're not there anymore, where he injects his head with more serum, which I thought was interesting, and I didn't really know why he was doing that.
Maybe because he thinks that it's gonna wear off and he's not gonna, or I don't, isn't he like super power hungry? So maybe he just thinks the more serum, the more his brain is gonna like expand or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But then his body clumsily gets this blood bag out of the fridge, puts it into the pan, which looks like it's feeding Dr. Hill's head. The way Dr. Hill says this or sells this blood is so gross, but he just looks like he's loving it. Like he's absorbing it through his neck or something. Like he plays such a good creep.
He's great.
Then he calls for the dean through the glass, who was still in there because Megan and Dan didn't take him. And the dean does listen and walk over to him. And he tells the dean, it's time for you to come out now. So he has learned that when he lobotomizes these bodies, he can control them.
Right.
Now we're going to see someone in a gown holding a duffel bag, slowly walking through the morgue past Mace. It's Dr. Hill's body in the gown with the fucking dummy head on top with a surgical cap on. And his actual head is in the duffel bag. He looks like fucking Pin.
Yeah, he does look like Pin.
It's like Pin's, what is it called? Anatomy dummy?
Anatomy doll, yeah.
Yeah. Mace is looking at this boudoir magazine without even looking up, and he just goes, "Oh, Dr. Hill, is that you?" Which he replies, "Yes, it's me," or whatever. But his head is in the bag, so it's like muffled.
It's muffled, yeah.
And Mace is just like, all right, like doesn't really pay much attention. So now Dr. Hill's in the morgue. Mace decides at this moment he wants to go take a little break, so he leaves. Inside the morgue, Dr. Hill opens the bag. His head gasps for air, even though he has no lungs. But you know what? We don't need to pick that apart.
It's okay.
In this movie, we don't need to think too hard about that. Dr. Hill brings out a cadaver. And now we cut to Dan getting to Megan's house. He's trying to apologize, right? I love how you're rolling your eyes already. I know how you feel about it. Megan tells him he just needs to go away, like straight up, like transfer to another school type of go away.
Yeah.
And he tells her she should. And he's not doing it in a mean way. He's like, no, you should go start a new life. Like, you don't deserve this.
Oh God, I just listen, buddy, stop it. Just stop it. You know what would be good? Just shut the fuck up.
Megan starts crying. I know you're gonna hate this so much. Megan starts crying and she's like, I wanted so much to hate you.
Oh no, girl.
You're like, I do hate you.
I do, yeah, I do.
And then they're about to kiss because she wants to hate him, but she just can't.
I get it. She loves him. I understand. I think it's stupid, but I understand.
I've never been in a situation where my dad was lobotomized and zombified, and I don't know how I'd feel.
I can tell you I wouldn't feel good about it.
No, I think she mostly blames West. I think.
Yeah.
But they're about to kiss. The dean comes bursting through the door. He goes right for Dan. He slams him against the wall. He knocks him out, and then he grabs Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just say, like, Megan's father presenting her unconscious body to Dr. Hill on the gurney is so many levels of disturbing and distressing. Not only so the head is sitting in like the little tin on a gurney, and the dean, brings Megan to him like with clothes on and puts her on the table and then just pulls all her clothes off in one full swoop.
Yeah, and she's completely naked. I don't know. I mean, we didn't give a trigger warning for this earlier in the movie, but maybe if you need one, here it is. I know that a lot of people, the reason that they struggle with this scene, besides the obvious, which it makes me very uncomfortable, the scene itself, is because what we talked about earlier, the movie is funny.
It's funny.
It's a comedy. It's light. And then this scene is not.
No, it's terrible.
So it's a stark contrast where you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and she's obviously like very distressed and she's screaming and she's crying and it's like,
yeah.
So we're going to describe what happens.
Yeah.
Not so graphically, but
right.
The head is very, very happy, okay, that Megan is laying naked next to him.
Yeah.
And her freaking out because she's going to wake up to him like kissing her and like licking her.
Yeah.
And he's getting more and more aroused off of her being scared, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like that's what I got. I got like he was into it because she's there, but also like the fact that she didn't want it and was crying and screaming and he could do it anyways.
I took it as he has just been waiting for this moment his entire life, even though he's not alive anymore.
Sure, that too, of course, yeah.
Meanwhile, the dean, the dad, he's zombified just standing against the wall.
Yeah, he's not interfering, and his daughter is being assaulted. The head gives her head. It's disgusting. Like, it's
He
just
tries to. He goes to, and she is gonna be rescued, thank God.
yeah, but it's, like, implied as he's going down that that is what's about to happen.
Right. There's like a shot from the side where it looks like that's what's about to happen. And I was like, please do not let this happen.
Yeah.
And when Wes and Dan break in, I was like, thank God.
Yeah, and I did watch interviews with Barbara Crampton where she talks about like, she doesn't talk about it being, like, a huge issue for her. Obviously, it's, like, awkward and, like, you're naked and all these things, but the way that I took it was, like, more people were, like, upset for her
Yeah.
than she was for it.
Yes. The reason that I feel much better about this part, even though it's still hard to watch, and if you don't want to watch it, that's totally valid, is that she speaks so fondly of not only
Yeah.
the movie, but she speaks so fondly of Stuart Gordon. Because
Yes.
at first, besides the, Dr. Hill scene and what he's about to do, there's a part where so Dr. Hill's head is on the table right next to her. And his body is like massaging her breasts,
Mhm.
and it's Stuart Gordon's hands.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so I didn't know how I felt about that even. And the whole thing just made me uncomfortable. And
Mhm.
then she speaks so highly of the movie and working with Stuart Gordon.
Yeah.
And she, like you mentioned, talks about in this interview that acting, when people ask her, like, oh, how do you do these scenes? Like, how did you do that scene? Which I'm imagining this might have been one of them.
For sure, yeah.
She talks about how acting is hard, period. Like, it's no different for her as an actor of like being so vulnerable in a scene,
Mhm.
having to cry, for
Yeah,
example.
for
She's
sure.
she's like, acting is hard. Crying for a scene is hard.
Yeah.
Doing XYZ is hard. So she she speaks so highly of it that I was like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, and I think everybody has their own limits.
Exactly.
Everybody has their own, right, like,
Sure, and that's
boundaries, and if she's okay with it, she's okay with it, and it doesn't sound like it would be a totally different situation if there were interviews with her where she was talking about how freaking horrible it was or something
exactly.
like that, you know?
Exactly.
Mhm.
But scene is still very uncomfortable to watch, and that is valid.
Wild. It's crazy. Yeah, it's gross.
So Wes and Dan burst in the room right at the moment where they can stop Dr. Hill. I never thought in the beginning of this movie I was going to be happy to see Dr. West,
Mhm.
but this is where I was like, okay, save the day, please. Dan is also saving the day, but West, also in his true sociopathic form, comes in very smug and like with little to no urgency. He's just being very um sarcastic, but he does interrupt and he tells Dr. Hill that he's very disappointed in him. He goes, "You steal the secret of life and death and your first move is this?" Basically, like this is what you're going to do with it?
Mhm.
West tells Dr. Hill, "No one's going to believe a talking head that that you discovered this." He goes, "Go get a job at a sideshow."
I wrote that down too. It's one of my favorite lines.
I love that. And then Wes says he has a plan. Dr. Hill says, "So do I." And at that very moment, all the cadavers around them jump up and start attacking them.
It's just all hell breaks loose here.
Yes. So what happened was the body in all this time was doing lobotomies to all these cadavers so that
Mhm.
he could have like this mind control thing.
A little army.
A little army, yeah. So at the first I was like, I don't know how he trained all them to jump up at the perfect time. But there's going to be a moment where I feel like there might be a little telepathic element to it even.
Mhm, mhm.
We don't know. So once Wes is subdued by all these cadavers, Dr. Hill explains what's going on to him about the lobotomies and how he did this, okay? That's what he was practicing in the beginning of the movie with that laser. Now West is on the table being held down, looking at Dr. Hill face to face, like the head is on that table, while the Dr. Hill's body is trying to give West a lobotomy
Mhm.
while he's alive.
Mhm.
Megan is screaming. She's screaming for her dad to look at her. This is where he finally slowly turns around. Megan is just crying. He finally looks at her and you see that there's a
He
pause.
registers. He registers for a moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
He takes a moment, but then when it does register, he runs over to Dr. Hill's body. He throws him through the door. You're like, "Yes, finally."
Mm, yeah.
Mace sees this in the hallway. He's like coming back from his break. The dean grabs Dr. Hill's head. He starts crushing it, like squeezing it, like I guess yeah, just crushing it. I was like,
Crushing
does
it,
that have a
yeah.
wrestling move name? No, he's just like crushing his head.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned head crush. As he does, all the cadavers are holding their heads. They start screaming. This is where I was like, oh, maybe they are all connected by the brain. Maybe he did, like, there's a telepathic element to it.
Yeah.
Wes is able to inject a shit ton of the serum into Dr. Hill's body. The dean finally crushes Dr. Hill's head, throws it into the hallway, which I love. I love eating a severed head, you know? Mace sees this and runs, and I was like, okay, Mace, you know what? That was smart.
I would run too.
Hell yeah. Dr. Hill's body opens up, and this, like his giant intestines, I think the serum did make them bigger because they're huge and they shoot out of his body and they wrap around West.
Yeah, like choking him.
Yeah, like all around his body, all around his face.
Hmm.
The other zombies are knocking shit over. They're just like causing chaos. There's gas leaking in the room now. The dean grabs some of the zombies that are coming from Megan and Dan, and then the rest of the zombies grab him and they drag him away and rip him apart.
I know.
Literally.
It's really like,
He saved his daughter though.
he did. Well, he did, kind of.
He did it at this point.
In that moment.
Yeah. Another zombie's fucking with the fuse box. I don't really know what was going on there, but I think they're just destroying shit.
Yeah, I think they're destroying everything. Mm-hmm.
So Wes cannot escape the intestines here, and he looks like he's being kind of like dragged away by them, but he's able to throw his bag to Dan that has like the rest of his serum and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Megan are able to run out.
Oh, there's a great scene in all of this where they're like the smoke is filling up the morgue and it just looks very gothic. There's just a scene of them, Dan and Megan together, and you can kind of see the zombies sort of, I'm calling them zombies, but they're
Yeah.
sort of coming at them and there's all this smoke and just the way that they shot it, the angle, it's really beautiful and it just reminded me of like old like almost like just a gothic universal
Yeah.
monster sort of vibe to it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
me too. So now they get attacked by some zombies in the hall. Dan and Megan do.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get into the elevator. One of them starts choking Megan. Dan's able to get an axe off the wall, like a fire axe.
Yikes.
Chops his arm off, but as the elevator door closes, the arm is still choking her. So Dan's able to pry it off, but at this point, Megan's not breathing. So he starts chest compressions on her. Meanwhile, that severed arm is in the elevator. It's still twitching.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to the main floor. He brings her to the ER. There's chaos going on in the ER, but they don't know what just happened in the morgue. They just know shit's going down. It's
Right.
very chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the beginning of the movie, they're in that room. They're trying to use the defibrillators on her. Dr. Herod's in there. Dan eventually takes over the chest compressions or the defibrillators.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working.
No, it's similar to the opening scene, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they eventually call it, and Megan is dead.
Ugh.
Dr. Herod again has to tell Dan that it's time to give up.
Yeah.
And Dan's crying here. The other doctors eventually leave the room. Dan kisses Megan, but we already know Dan does not believe in giving up.
No, and now he's doing like he's turned into Herbert West.
Yeah, but not for mad scientist reasons. I think he really just desperately doesn't want to lose her, and he's
Yeah.
going to try everything.
Yes, I agree with that, but
I'm not saying it's right.
I still. Ugh.
So he grabs Wes' bag, he gets the serum out, and he injects Megan.
Mm-hmm.
And the frame freezes as he's injecting it into the back of her neck, fades to black, and all we hear is Megan scream. The end.
Yeah. What a bummer, eh?
What a roller coaster.
Yeah. I love how they balance slapstick comedy with like this ultra sad sort of tragic
Yeah.
story. It's just interwoven so beautifully.
I didn't want Megan to die. I also am kind of glad that they ended it there and didn't show us what that was going to look like.
100%. I don't want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know? I felt so sad for Megan because she's she's collateral damage in all of it. Like she just was just like a good person,
Yeah.
you know, and like it all just went down so horribly and she unfortunately had to pay the price for Dan and Herbert.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Brian Usna and Stuart Gordon really sing the praises of the editor Lee Percy. And he was the editor on Dolls from Beyond, Single White Female, Murder by Numbers. He's a really great editor. But I loved hearing about Brian sitting with the editor and just kind of really like watching how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
And they really sing the praises of that. And he said it was kind of like film school 101. Like he got to learn that hands-on and post, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned this earlier in the episode, but originally Stuart Gordon wanted to adapt the story, West Herbert Re-Animator, into a 30-minute TV series.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't sell it. PBS was not about that life. So then he was told maybe turn it into an hour-long episodes. So then Stuart Gordon like beefed up the material. But once he met with Brian Yuzna and Yuzna wanted to make a horror movie as well, he was like, why don't we turn this into a movie instead? And that's what they ended up doing.
Yeah.
Which it would have been crazy for that to be a TV show, I feel like. What
Yeah.
a different sort of outcome, right? And they did make a rough cut of the film. And Bob Greenberg, who was one of the producers, brought in Dr. Donald Reed and a sci-fi club to watch this early rough cut of the film and give feedback on it. And Brian Usner really puts over Bob Greenberg strong for bringing these people in and I guess something that Brian kind of figured out through Bob and I think through the editing process with Lee is that sometimes you have to cut things out and cut out when the excitement is at its peak so that you don't kind of lose the audience in the process.
That makes so much sense.
There's just such an art to editing.
Absolutely.
The edit can make or break your film.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure. So this movie was possibly going to secure an X rating on its first 3 submissions to the MPAA. So it had to undergo a number of changes and edits. So Stuart Gordon had to make 2 cuts. So there's one that's unrated with basically the original vision, right? And then there's an R-rated version for the home video release.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. This movie has sprung sequels. I mean, there's like a million different adaptations and kind of spin-offs and things like this, but just 3 I'm gonna mention.
Yeah.
Bride of Re-Animator, Beyond Re-Animator, and The Resonator, which is a TV series loosely based on Lovecraft's From Beyond, and also Herbert West Re-Animator. You can watch the whole series as a 3-hour movie on Full Moon Features' streaming service. But William Butler was, I want to say, the director-writer on it, and he was one of the producers on the Puppet Master film that I did. And when I met him, I just thought he was so lovely, and I really want to work with him again.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love Billy Butler. He was awesome.
Okay, so I have a little fact about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
I read an interview with Stuart Gordon's daughter, Jillian, and she talks about how even though he wasn't directing anymore, he still won a few battles with the script or what was going to happen before he was unable to direct. And so she says that, for example, he had to go to battle about the character of Auntie, so the giant ant.
I loved Auntie.
I did too. And so Disney basically wanted to make it cute and cartoonish. And Stuart Gordon had to go to battle to be like, no, Auntie needs to be scary. And he understood the importance of the nature of fear in children and how it can easily transform into something like laughter or love.
Whoa.
And I love that so much because it would have been so different if Auntie was just like cute and funny. The fact that it scared me as a kid and the fact that it's scary at first, it reminds me so much of why we're even here right now doing a horror podcast. At least for me, I was so scared of everything as a kid. I was so fucking terrified of Chucky, for example.
Right.
And now I love it. And I think there's something about conquering your fears that plays into that. And I feel like that's what she was describing there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. Originally, Stuart Gordon wanted to shoot this on 16 millimeter in black and white.
Oh, shit.
I know, which I think is so wild. He also wanted to shoot it at the Organic Theater, which is a theater that he founded with his wife in Chicago. He was actually like the artistic director there for a long, long time, like years and years, maybe like 16 years, maybe longer. And but the board at the theater was like, hell no, we're not doing that here.
Yeah.
So couldn't do it. So then he ended up going to LA, I believe, and shooting it there. But
it would have been so different in black and white.
I know, pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it would have been for better or worse, but I think it would have been good either way.
Yeah. I mean, I love the movie, and I think even in 16 millimeter black and white, it would have been pretty cool too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's all I have. I'm going to save a few for the extended.
Yeah.
But tell us what you thought of Re-Animator. Did you love it? Do you love it? I feel like you have to love it. If you don't like Re-Animator, I don't know if we can be friends.
You can follow us on Instagram at Chainsaw Girls Pod, also on TikTok at the same handle. If you're not already watching on YouTube, it's also at Chainsaw Girls Pod. And we also need to mention that we are going to be at Triangle TerrorCon September 26th in Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, we're doing a screening of Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Yes, we are so excited.
Dude, I cannot wait to do it with Nate.
I can't wait.
Oh my God.
We have a reel we need to post too with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, we will for sure. We also have a Patreon, and we're going to shout out our top tier patrons. I've got it lined up right here.
Let's go.
All right. Jeremy M, John M, David G, John M again, a different John M, John W, Rob V, David T, Heather D, Franchise Driller, aka Ryan, Millie C, Chris S, Alexis T, and Adam B L. Oh, we also have James C. Thank you so much for being our top tier patrons. We love you to the moon and back. Okay, bye.